48% of organizations found that they were not maximizing their potential of their existing video content, and 43% did lack of in-house expertise. So that is why these companies that have in-house capabilities might still turn to an outside video agency. I just wanted to take a moment to sort of rapid fire what the key benefits I see of this hybrid approach. I'm in favor of companies developing in-house production capabilities. There are certain projects that are going to be more cost efficient or maybe quicker if developed and produced internally, especially for routine content, things that need to be quick turnaround, internal communications, even social media snippets, those kinds of day-to-day outputs. It makes sense to be doing those with an in-house team.
One is when we produce toolkits and templates for them to use. And that to me is maybe less interesting to talk about because we're still acting in a lot of ways like a traditional vendor, right? Like let's say their in-house editing team is going to produce a whole bunch of videos and we are making like lower thirds,
the intro
graphics. But sometimes now, and where social is getting much more interesting for us, is sometimes it's even more stuff that can be mixed and matched for the content. So we're actually producing sort of almost like Lego blocks of content, like different 3D renders or pieces of video that can be like repurposed with different text or reassembled in different ways for like multiple different messages on social. And I actually want to do more of that because, we can still do stuff to a high quality in producing the toolkit, but you can get the volume that you need for social by mixing and matching.
Interesting.
The pieces.
And then when you want to have enhanced quality or need a technical expertise or a project that's sort of out of scope of your in-house capabilities, that's when you can turn to a professional video production agency.
And beyond tech, I feel like one thing we often contribute in those collaborations is just process. Is just like the projects that we're usually brought in on when they have in-house teams. It's because like the complexity is more so than what they've been doing typically. And so a lot of times just that process of like even sort of knowing where to start, right? And it's not just about imposing that. It's not just that we like make sure everyone is clear on that, but it's just even understanding what the process looks like. That's a big help.
So bringing in an outside perspective, someone who might have seen different industries who are putting out the same type of content and bring some ideas to the table there. And obviously video experts should have a good understanding of the whole video production landscape. So getting that outside perspective can really benefit the final product and the approach that you're taking to the video.
100%. I really feel like that, like the outside perspective is so helpful. And like that kind of collaboration is the best of both worlds. You have the people who are really close to the product and the demographic, and the person that has the outside perspective, and you're collaborating. I've had ones where like I haven't been dealing with the company's entire internal team, but I'm just like constantly communicating with their marketing director, and that I feel like that's also like a really nice in between where like it's like leaving both of our teams with their bandwidth and like not necessarily being pulled into that, but you're getting that kind of like mix and back and forth, and it's maybe a little bit more collaborative than the traditional sort of outside vendor like here's a version, because we're going back and forth a lot more on sort of like works in progress and ideas and hey, what do you think of this?
Yeah, most of the ideas that I was talking about are really why it's beneficial for the company or the brand or the client side, but as a creator, it can be really rewarding having those kinds of experiences working with in-house teams as well.
Yeah, and actually, I'm going to give a message to some of our people in our audience that maybe are like more reticent about this process. I can definitely see a segment of the population that maybe feels defensive and feels like they could be losing business. I think this way of working is the most beneficial to your business in the current landscape, because the finished work has value, but it can be harder to differentiate just on the finished work. But your process, how you work with the client, all the ways you're helping to educate them, level up their team in the process, you are adding so much value to the process and building so much stronger relationships that is just going to be a huge net benefit. And it's a two-way street, because you're also learning from them. We don't have everyone's learning from each other. So you level them up, they're going to give you some ideas that level you up. It's just win-win in my book.